movies of all time. Crazy Girl, Bionicle, Spring Breakers. I want you to leave your favorite movies in the comment section below. Sucker Punch. I would like to see and hear and talk about what you're watching. Hi, hey, hello. How are you? How are you? How are you? Do you know what time it is? If not, I will tell you what time it is. It is time for another Teddy Talks ASMR video. Whoa, whoa. My name is Teddy, hey, and I'm talking in a sort of ASMR style. In tonight's video, I will be talking about my favorite movies of all time. And in preparation for this video, not only did I wear a shirt that references one of my favorite movies of all time, but I also have one of the movies on DVD to tap on. Spoiler alert. So, just thought that would be fun to tap on really quick, but we have a lot to discuss tonight. I have put a lot of time and energy into preparing this video. I anticipate that it will be a long one. A couple of videos ago, I talked about wanting to film certain ideas and being excited to finally execute those ideas. This video is one of them. So if you want to relax or you're just interested in hearing what some of my favorite movies of all time are, then keep on watching. You guys know that I can ramble and ramble and ramble. However, I thought that I would confine myself to a outline for each movie. So, I am going to tell you actually straight up just all the movies. Like, it is not that serious. So, if you are curious to hear me talk about a certain movie, I will make sure to put timestamps in the description and in the comment section. But just know that I will run through all of them. I will just tell you my favorite movies of all time. There are 11, and then for each movie, if you're curious as to why it made the list, I will pull this bad boy out and I will run through the criteria. So, for each movie, I will tell you the title. I will tell you a little bit of the plot. I will try to not spoil as much as I can, but many of these movies are old, so if you have not seen them yet, what are you doing? I will tell you why it made the list, why, and any memories associated with seeing the movie, or what the movie, I guess what or why it holds in my memory, and why I rewatch the movie, and finally anything else at the end that is very quick that I can tell you, I will tell you before moving on to the next movie. Alright, so I am going to read the title of the movie, the director, and the year that the movie came out. I am going to do this for all 11 movies really quick, and the poster for the movie will be on the screen as well as the other information. And again, look in the description or the comments if you would like to listen to me talk about a certain movie. It is never that serious on my channel, so I'm not expecting you to stay for the whole video. If you don't want to, that is totally okay. So without further ado, here are my favorite sense in the alignment of the list. It's more about when I saw these movies, okay? So the first movie is Bionicle, Mask of Light. It is from 2003, directed by Terry Shakespeare and David Molina. The second movie on this list is Matilda from the year 1996, directed by Danny DeVito. The third movie on this list is Halloween from the year 1978, directed by John Carpenter. The fourth movie on this list is Christmas with the Kranks from the year 2004, directed by Joe Roth. The fifth movie on this list is Hoodwinked from the year 2005, directed by Corey Edwards. The sixth movie on this list is the X-Men Trilogy from the years 2000 through 2006, directed by Bryan Singer and Brett Ratner. The seventh movie on this list is Sucker Punch from the year 2011, directed by Zack Snyder. The 8th movie on this list is Spring Breakers from the year 2012, directed by Harmony Korine. I hope I pronounced that correctly. The next movie on this list is She's Too Young from the year 2004, directed by Tom McLaughlin. The 10th movie on this list is Gummo from 1997, directed by Harmony Korine. And finally, the last movie, my last favorite movie of all time, the 11th movie on this list, because truly I could not keep it to 10, is Barbarian from 2022 by Zach Cregger. Lastly, I want you to leave your favorite movies in the comments section below. I would like to see and hear and talk about what you're watching. I am always open to recommendations for movies, books, etc. Also, round of applause for me for getting to the point of the video, because we have nothing else to talk about. So without further ado, these are my favorite movies of all time. Those are my absolute favorite movies of all time. And now we are going to dive into each movie. I got my computer pulled up. I got Wikipedia, or the Wikipedia article for each movie pulled up, and I got my sticky note, my sticky outline, so that I stay on track with each movie. So let's get into the first movie on this list. Again, timestamps in the description. I am so excited to get into these movies. You have no idea how long I have waited to film this, and tonight just felt like the right night. So the first movie on this list is Bionicle, Mask of Light from the year 2003. That is the title. Now, I did not rewatch all of these movies, but I remember enough to give you a gist of the plot, and let's just start with the plot of this movie. So, if you don't know Bionicle, literally, where were you, like, a couple decades ago? Like, where were you for the Bionicle craze? Because I was a Bionicle boy, and my email doesn't exist anymore, so I can tell you this, but my first ever email was bionicle8@comcast.net. I was a Bionicle boy down, okay? So, it would make sense that this movie was one of my favorite movies, is one of my favorite movies that I definitely need to rewatch. Essentially, which is like the perfect mask in the movie, and that's all you really need to know. I might pop up some pictures of Bionicles on the screen, but how could you not know Bionicles? I feel like bad for anybody, any younger people that don't know what Bionicles are, that never had Bionicles. What the heck? Anyway, so the Bionicle in this movie, I'm pretty sure it's like the red mask Bionicle. It's kind of like the Power Rangers, where there was a red, blue, green, black, yellow Bionicle, and I feel like in this movie they all go in search of the golden mask. Now, why do I like this movie? You can kind of equate this movie to like the Lego movies. Like, kids now, or at least somewhat recently, were really into like the Lego movies. This was my Lego movie. Like, this was my Lego Batman, okay? And I love this movie. It was pretty action-packed. Like, we're searching for the mask, as you saw on the poster. The mask, the golden mask, is pretty cool, and in the movie it was supposed to be like the ultimate power, right? Now, let's get into the why, right? The reason why this movie really stuck with me, other than the fact that I watched it for like over and over as a kid and having it on DVD, was because I was in kindergarten or first grade, and I had to stay home from school because I was sick. And I remember I really wanted to see this movie, but I couldn't go see the movie because I was sick or something like that, right? My dad played like a prank on me and had me open up a different movie. He like switched the DVDs out. He somehow rented this on DVD or got it on DVD, and I opened up the other movie to find Bionicle Mask of Light in its case, and I freaked out because I hadn't seen the movie yet. My dad tricked me into thinking we were watching something else, only to discover that somehow my dad got the movie. We must have missed it in theaters, or maybe it was never in theaters, I don't know. I could read through the article, but I just remember being sick at home watching this movie for the first time with my dad, and that was a core memory that I still remember to this day. And I remember my mom coming home from work, and like, she learned that my dad got the Bionicle movie, and it was a whole thing. And yeah, that's why this movie made the list. And this is one of the first movies I ever remember seeing. I wasn't going to the theater that much, so the fact that I was able to see something that I really wanted to at home was pretty cool, right? That's the main memory that kind of puts this movie on the list. Anything else? I'm looking at my outline. No. Bionicles were so sick. It was cool that there was a franchise where you could have the toy, and I ended up owning the golden mask physically. was that there was a girl that grew up in a family that did not appreciate her. It's kind of a caricature of the American family a little bit, and she loves learning and reading and education, and her family does not like that she likes those things. As Matilda grows up, she learns that she has powers and she can use her mind to move things and kind of throw things and teleport things. And the movie follows her journey, I will just say that. But why is this movie one of my faves, right? This movie, I mean, now it's a musical, which is crazy. I'd love to see the musical. So why is this movie on the list? I remember watching this for the first time and feeling a connection to the themes about education and learning, and knowing that some people don't see value in learning and reading and education and growing. How could you not relate to a character like Matilda? Now, I did not grow up in the home that she grew up in, because, as I've mentioned before, education is respected in my family, but I really resonated with kind of Miss Honey and Miss Trenchbull, and kind of the same side of the coin. Like, they both were doing the job of, like, being a teacher, right, or a principal or whatever, but one had a lot of passion and drive for it, and the other hated her job. And so I really like to see that contrast, and I think if a teacher or an educator, there's a good chance that this is probably one of their favorite movies of all time, because who would not want to be a Miss Honey, right? And then the whole aspect of the movie where Miss Honey was kind of living with Miss Trenchbull, or at least kind of under her watchful eye, right? That part I may be a little off on. But Matilda and Miss Honey sneak into Miss Trenchbull's house. Miss Trenchbull's like the evil principal teacher or whatever, to get something that is Miss Honey's, right? I think it's a doll, if I remember correctly. And so just kind of seeing the campiness and the way the movie deals with how Americans see education. It's just a movie that you can watch over and over and over again. I don't have any specific memories with the movie other than me watching it a million times and loving it. But wait, I have to Google this because I have to make sure I get the character right. There's a scene in the movie where a character eats a huge chocolate cake made by a nasty lunch lady. Hold on. Matilda. Chocolate cake kid. Bruce, yeah. So, one of my favorite scenes of the movie. I love the scene. It's probably why I keep watching the movie. It almost makes me cry. And I don't cry, really. Where this one kid has to eat a giant chocolate cake in front of the school, and basically at a school assembly. And he's about to give up after eating the huge cake, and it kind of looks good in the beginning, and then it looks disgusting. I had a fear as a child that they would try to make me do this if I was bad in school. Anyway, Bruce is about to give up eating the chocolate cake, and Matilda stands up and says, "You can do it, Bruce. You got this. You can do it." And another girl stands up, and another student, another person, and they cheer him on, to the point where the Miss Trenchbull, the mean teacher, is saying, "Stop that, calm down," and Bruce finishes the chocolate cake. I really need to research this scene. I need to know everything I possibly can about this scene, because I just need to know how it was to be there that day and film that. And is anybody else obsessed with that scene? Let me know in the comments down below. But it's a reason why show how disgusting it is to get everything you want and use that as punishment was really, really interesting. So I think that's all I have to say about Matilda. I loved Rhea. Is it Rhea? Rhea Perlman's character. The mom had great fashion. She was so tacky in the movie, and the actress Rhea Perlman that plays the mom did an excellent job portraying the mom. I love the sketchy dad that Danny DeVito played, and winding back the mileage on the cars, like everything about her family. It's like you hate them, but you love to hate them, and that's why I love to watch this movie too. But I think that's all I have to say about Miss Matilda. We should move on to the next movie. Alright, so the next movie on this list is Halloween from 1978. So this is the original Halloween from 1978 by Mr. John Carpenter. Not to be confused with Sabrina Carpenter. I wonder if there's a relation, but I doubt it. Okay, so Halloween, the original. The plot of Halloween is that Michael Myers, basically the main character, if you don't know Michael Myers, where have you been? But Michael Myers is a boy, and I think he murders someone in his family, murders a sibling, murders somebody. He gets sent away to like a psych ward, and then time passes, and there is a Halloween night where Michael Myers gets out and starts to terrorize the town of... I'm looking for the town. What is this? Oh, guys, I'm on the Halloween Wikipedia page for the holiday. It might help if I actually specify it's the movie. Dear Lord. Here we go. I don't know why it switched. What's the name of the town? Haddonfield, Illinois. That's allegedly where this film takes place, right? So Michael Myers comes back on Halloween night. I forget the year. 1963. And he is upset and angry, and he starts taking people out. That's the plot. Let's look at who stars in this movie. We have Jamie Lee Curtis. Donald Pleasance plays the doctor, I think. And other people. Okay, but Jamie Lee Curtis got her start in this movie, I'm pretty sure. So that's the plot. Now, why is this movie important to me? Someone actually got me this shirt, and I feel very grateful, but also it's very silly that I love this movie so much that people know that they can get me Halloween merch, and I will wear it, just like I'm wearing it for the video. Sadly, this shirt says, "Get in, loser, we're going slashing." Mean Girls is not on the list. It did get edged out by a couple of these movies, but no hate to Mean Girls, okay? It just did not make the list. But, this is the first horror thriller movie that I ever watched. It's still so incredibly scary, and I find that movies that do a lot less scare me more, right? When you can't see everything and you have to imagine it, that's a lot more scary than when they show you everything in a movie, right? There was a taste to this movie, the way it was shot, the way that Michael just disappears out of the frame, the way that you can run from Michael and he'll walk, but he will still catch up to you, right? So this was one of the first horror movies that I ever saw, and I have memories of watching this with my mom. I remember watching it with her for the first time, and on TV, VH1 used to play movies, and factoids or facts would pop up throughout the movie. I miss that so bad. I miss it so bad because you could watch a movie, like a different way and learn the information as the movie was playing. I think that's when I first started noticing that I wanted to obtain information that I didn't need. I didn't need to know everything about this movie, but the factoids would pop up and I would be saying, this is so cool, right? And fortunately, my mom really liked to watch the factoid versions of these movies with me, but Halloween was like the first factoid movie that I ever watched and the first horror movie I ever watched. I kind of think low-key I was allowed to watch it when I was younger because it was a factoid version and that made it less scary. So, yeah, I've watched this with my mom quite a bit. She dropped some knowledge about the movie when we first watched it, and I thought that was very cool. I watch all the Halloween movies if I can around Halloween time, and I like the second one too, but this one is like the one for me. I love that it was Jamie Lee Curtis's start in film, and I love that they filmed this in the summer, so they had to dump the leaves out to make it look like Halloween. I could go on and on and on, but I think of like Freddy, Jason, etc., insert character here, that Michael is just the one to me. Like, he's definitely top 3. He might be my number 1. He will never die. He will never die. I think that's all I have to say about Halloween, and I think that we should move on to our next movie. So our next movie, going in a completely different direction, not scary at all, is Christmas with the Kranks from 2004, directed by Joe Roth, and just so happens that Jamie Lee Curtis is also in this movie. So, Christmas with the Kranks stars Tim Allen, Jamie Lee Curtis, Dan Aykroyd, and a bunch of other people, as the child, one of the kids from Malcolm in the Middle. Yeah, right. So kind of maybe strange that I would have this movie over other Christmas movies. Elf is great, okay, but this one in my family, this is like a family specific movie, which is why it's here. I will tell you the plot. So Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis, they have a daughter in the movie. That they're not called that in the movie, but like, you know, their characters have a daughter that goes away, and they're not going to do Christmas. Like, the mom and the dad are not doing Christmas. They're going on a cruise. Spoiler alert, the daughter says, hey, I'm coming back with my fiance that I just met, and we're doing Christmas, right? So the whole movie is the parents trying to cover their ass and give their daughter Christmas and make it look like they weren't going to go on a cruise instead. That is as concise as I can give it to you. So, the reason why Christmas with the Kranks is on this list is because I think it's a hilarious Christmas movie. There's a scene where, like, Tim Allen gets Botox. Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis, they get tans, and they're at the mall, and they, like, get out the tanning bed, and their pastor's there. It's just ridiculous. The people of the neighborhood, like, terrorize this poor family, and in the end, they do pull it together for Christmas, and there's a sweet message about, like, thinking about people that are less fortunate than you. But, surprisingly, it was recently that I learned that this movie didn't do that well, and people thought that it wasn't good. I don't care. Like, I go into movies open-minded, and it could be a poorly rated movie, but I might know that in a couple of years it could be regarded as a cult classic. You just never know what's going to happen. So in my family, this is like the Christmas movie besides The Grinch or Elf. I just put it on the list because I would prefer to watch it over other Christmas movies. And like when Jamie Lee Curtis is at the market fighting this lady over ham, it's just great. Like, don't know, everything about this movie is fantastic. It's silly, it's campy, it's dumb. One thing that I'm not going to do for every movie is talk about the budget and what it made at the box office. However, I mean, I'm obsessed with, like, how much did it take to make this movie? What did they spend their money on? And then what did it make at the box office? So, this movie only made $30 million past the budget after the box office, like, you know, got the money in. So, it had a budget of $60 million, but at the box office it made $96.6 million. So it didn't even do, like, badly, but the way that people criticize this movie was really interesting to me. And I never really gave a rat's ass because I love this movie. But I think that's all I have to say about Christmas with the Kranks, and we should talk about the next movie on this list. The next movie on this list is Hoodwinked from 2005, directed by Corey Edwards. This movie changed everything. I think it changed my brain chemistry. It altered my personality, and I need to watch it ASAP. I don't know if it's on streaming. If you can even watch it, I need it on physical media now, okay? However, I'll put it on the screen, or you might have already seen it. I love how the poster has the cast, like, holding their name, so we know who they are. This movie literally had Jim Belushi, Glenn Close, Anne Hathaway. What the hell? Like, if you, like, hop into what this movie is and how it almost never even happened, it's insane. Like, do a deep dive into Hoodwinked. However, the plot of this movie is Little Red Riding Hood is going to go, see her grandma, and then there's the big bad wolf, but there's a twist because, what is the reason why they go over there in the first place? Hold on. I think someone's missing. I think Little Red Riding Hood is missing, and they have to find her, but there's, like, a whole other case, like, mystery to solve beyond Little Red Riding Hood going missing. I think it's the grandma. Yeah, so they're just trying to figure out, like, what is Little Red doing at the grandma's house? Where's the grandma, the big bad wolf? Like, why is he in the grandma's house? Like, everybody has explaining to do. Is essentially what is happening in the movie. And it is amazing how everything is intertwined. You could watch the movie once, then go back and re-watch it and get a whole different perspective on what is happening. Now, why is this movie important to me? Like I said, a crazy cast. It almost never happened. The budget, it literally was made on an $8 million animation budget. It was an animated movie too. Not Disney, not Pixar, like, independent, and it made $110 million. Insanity. And then it's like this weird, thing where you can't find it, and I think it has to do with it being a Weinstein movies is the X-Men Trilogy from the year 2000 through 2006, directed by Bryan Singer and Brett Ratner. Now, obviously, you're thinking, if this is your favorite movie list, how can you nominate or have a trilogy on the list? The thing is, I really do like this version of X-Men, and it's hard because my favorite is X-Men The Last Stand. But I feel like it is helpful to see the other two that lead into the final one of the three of this trilogy. My favorite is The Last Stand because there's a lot of action and battle and, the resolution of the characters' stories, but they definitely had the biggest budget for this and the most, mutants with superpowers in this movie. So the plot of X-Men The Last Stand. I'm sticking to my outline, trying to anyway. The plot is that the X-Men have to stop Magneto, the villain. Magneto is a villain in a lot of the X-Men stories, and Magneto has a bunch of villains that are going to essentially raid this base that is holding the antidote to, mutants, or, the mutants' kryptonite. There's, a kid, and they found a way to take the kid's DNA and take away the superpowers of the mutants, and so it's, a whole thing in the movie where the bad guys want to, the kid, the antidote of the kryptonite or whatever, they want to get rid of the kid so that the mutants can, stay mutants, whereas the X-Men want to protect this kid, and then there's people in the middle, the regular humans want the mutants to not be mutants, and they want everybody to be normal. So, yeah, there's a huge fight in this movie. Jean Grey goes berserk. Storm has some cool moments in the movie. I think she's played by Halle Berry. There's a ton of names in this movie. I didn't really watch the newer X-Men movies, but the reason why this stands out is because, I'm not really a Marvel person. The Avengers, I was not really into that era of Marvel or comics, okay? So don't come for me. But X-Men, and really getting into the niche X-Men that are present in this movie, that is more appealing to me. Kitty Pryde running through the walls and Juggernaut chasing after her in this movie is what I want to see, versus just the big typical heroes getting their time. I need to see Rogue and Nightcrawler and Mystique and the background characters that are very interesting and have very interesting stories. I need them to the forefront, and I feel like this trilogy and X-Men The Last Stand did a good job of showing those stories. And yeah, I would watch these with my cousins on holiday, with my parents, with my family. These movies were really easy to watch and digest in a group of people, and I have a lot of good memories of watching X-Men and X-Men The Last Stand specifically with the people in my life. You are going to want to buckle in for this next movie on the list. The 2011 film directed by Zack Snyder, Sucker Punch. Okay, this is going to get a little off the rails, and you just have to bear with me, okay? I have the outline, but this movie, of the bunch, is the one, I have watched this movie a bajillion times. I'm never sick of this movie. I'm never tired of this movie. And the plot of the movie is, it lives in the realm of X-Men, kind of it's a superhero movie, but it's very, girlified, okay? sister from the dad, and the dad's very powerful, and he sends Baby Doll is the character's name. Baby Doll protects her sister. The dad sends Baby Doll to a psych ward, and Baby Doll has to figure out a way to escape the psych ward, but there is kind of a break in reality between escaping the psych ward and then kind of pretending that the mission she's doing, they are to get out of the psych ward, but they are dramatized to where she's imagining that she's fighting samurai, robots, and skeleton soldiers, okay? So immediately, like, the coolest concept idea for a movie ever. This movie had Jenna Malone, Vanessa Hudgens, Oscar Isaac, the mom from Spy Kids. Where is she at? What's her name? What is her name? It had John Hamm. Where is she? What's her name? Carla Gugino. I'm so sorry if you're seeing this, I'm butchering your name. But the mom from Spy Kids in this, okay? So that's the plot. Why am I obsessed with this movie? Here is where we buckle in, because this thing is like drilled into my brain. So, a big reason why this movie was huge back in the day for me and still is relevant. So, a big reason why I am obsessed with Sucker Punch is because when I was younger in my middle school days, we would go to the movie theater with my friends on the weekend, or like my friends and I would go to this movie theater. You could walk from school to the movie theater, and our parents were totally fine with that, and they would come pick us up from the movie theater when the movie was done. So we did this a lot, where we would leave school on a Friday, leave the middle school, and walk to the movie theater, see a movie, and head home. I was in the 8th grade when I saw this movie, and I don't think it hit for everybody else like it hit for me. I went back and I saw this movie a couple times. I loved this movie at the time. I still love this movie. So I have really good memories, like seeing this movie with my friends. What I love about this movie is that it is rage bait, which I did not realize at the time, but Zack Snyder was kind of making fun of like comic book nerds, like incel comic book nerds, and he basically made a movie where like the guys look dumb and the girls rule, and it was very like high concept, you know, did she really escape? What is real? What is not? And the trailer would have led you to believe that this was like hot girls being hot and like kicking ass, and like that's all they are. But the movie shows you that they're more than that. Obviously, they're not just hot girls, and there's a lot of important topics that get brought up in this movie. Some of them that can make you uncomfortable, right? But it pissed people off, and that is why on a budget of $75 to $82 million, this only made $90 million. So it really didn't make a lot of money because it just pissed off the core audience of like incel bros that were mad that these girls were more than girls in the movie. I love that. I love that. Zack Snyder, you're a legend. And that's basically it. If you rewatch this, I love the messaging, the colors, the fashion, like on the men and the women in the movie. I like the pacing. I like how there's like levels in the movie when they move from like place to place, room to room. So this was way too ahead of its Breakers. Crazy Girl, Bionicle, Spring Breakers. That is a Charlie XCX reference that references this movie. Where do I even begin to tell you about this movie? You probably already know, but I'm going to talk about this movie anyway. So, this movie stars James Franco as a ripoff riffraff, Selena Gomez, Vanessa Hudgens, Ashley Benson, Rachel Corrine, and Gucci Mane, who does an excellent job in this movie, by the way. Sometimes when you cast rappers, it doesn't always work out, and Gucci Mane was awesome in this movie. Okay, so plot. Basically, 4 girls, college-age girls, want to go on spring break. Simple, right? They are broke, and so they get themselves down to, I think, Florida, somewhere where spring break is happening, and they rob people, and they go crazy, and one by one, the girls start to realize that they are in over their heads. Some of the girls love spring break. Some of them, they're not down for the antics because it goes beyond just college partying. It goes into crime, right? So that is all I have to say about the plot of the movie. It is a very artsy film, so you're not just getting like girls on spring break, you're getting a lot of cool visual shots, a lot of spring break shots. Hold on one second. A lot of shots, many shots of crime and glorification of guns in America and gang violence. It's a really, really beautiful film if you just look at it visually, and it's just amazing. Like, I can't really do it justice by talking about it. You just have to watch it. Now, why is Spring Breakers in this list? Because I kind of went back and forth with if this was the one I wanted to watch, or watch. I mean, I'm on spring break right now, so of course I want to watch it. I watch Spring Breakers every spring break, or at least I try to. That's why I love this movie. But I kind of was thinking, is this one of my favorite movies? But then again, like, I went back to, I watch this so often, and I always watch it around spring break. Like, it just takes you to another dimension, and I feel like it puts you in the spring break mindset. Obviously, you're not gonna do what they're doing in the movie, but it's just spring break. Like, it is what it is. Like, spring break is forever. Spring break is forever. I don't know. So, why did this budget's way in other than the fact that I always want to watch it around spring break? Spring break. So, I told you that Sucker Punch was 2011 and this was 2012. I was a little young to be watching this, but I did not watch it till later in life. And, my family would watch Pretty Little Liars, okay? And you really had to be there when this movie was announced, because the pictures and the videos that were released of them shooting this movie went crazy on social media, and it was like your mom knew, your dad knew, like your friends were all talking about the fact that Ashley Benson from Pretty Little Liars was in a bikini in this movie. Disney Channel Selena Gomez was like a bad girl in this movie, and then she's not even a bad girl, right? Harmony Korine's wife, Rachel Corrine, literally just did this movie, and I don't think she's done anything else that's so iconic to me. And then Vanessa Hudgens, like, was perfect, just perfect for this movie. What makes this stand out in my mind even more is the fact that Emma Roberts was supposed to be in this movie, and if I can put the picture in, I will, but there's a picture of her, like, during the casting, and the other girls are, like, serious and, like, in their bikinis and, like, sexy, and she's just kind of like, hey, she didn't get the memo of what this movie was supposed to be, and that's hilarious, okay? That's hilarious to me. if Emma Roberts was cast in this. So kind of to go back to the point and put a pin in it, the reason why I love this so much is because when I was younger, it was such a cultural phenomenon. Like, what was this going to be? And you either loved the movie and you understood what it was saying about like glorification and, you know, kids from the suburbs participating in gang violence, or you didn't see that part of it and you thought it was dumb. It is not a dumb movie. It is genius. It has a lot to say about, like I said, like the glorification of guns and gang violence in America, and, you know, etc., etc. But the movie is very colorful. It's very fun. It's very easy to watch. It is Harmony Korine's Harmony's most accessible movie. Another one of his movies is on this list that is not accessible at all, but this was his big one, and James Franco was great. There was drama with Riff Raff. Riff Raff was huge at the time, and again, Gucci Mane was in it. So, like, I don't know. It's hard to describe. Like, how could you not love Spring Breakers? And I'm really curious to hear, like, if other people, like, did you talk with your friends about this movie coming out, and like the fact that Ashley Benson was in it, because I think that Ashley Benson replaced Emma Roberts, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong. So I think I love this movie so much that I have to be done talking about it, and I hope that I made some sort of sense with talking about Spring Breakers. This movie will never die. Like I said, Charlie XCX referenced it. This movie will never go away. It will never die. That's it. We're moving on. We have 3 movies left on this list. The next movie is She's Too Young by Tom McLaughlin. This was made in 2004. Now, did I see this in 2004? No, not at all. It would have been inappropriate. I only would have been like 8. But I saw this years later for free on YouTube. And this is a crazy ass movie. It's like a Lifetime. It is a Lifetime movie. But essentially, this movie is about a high school. It's based on a true story. A high school that has a syphilis outbreak. So the STD, syphilis, there's an outbreak at this high school, and the whole point of the movie is to be safe when having, you know, relations, and how it's not cool to, you know, be unprotected. It's not cool to not disclose your status of your sexual health, right? And I know I'm kind of laughing. These are serious issues, and I'm glad the movie exists. However, you know, and the plot, because I'm going in the outline, the plot is, you know, there's 3 girls that we follow throughout their high school experience and how they deal with the fact that everybody is getting syphilis. And what do the parents do? Now, the reason why I'm laughing, though, is because this movie is so unserious. It has, that's a sticky note falling over. It has Marsha Hardin, but you guys know that my favorite show of all time is Degrassi, and Miriam McDonald, who plays Emma in Degrassi, is in this movie. So the only reason why I watched this is because Miriam McDonald is in this movie, but I also noticed that Marsha Hardin was like the mom, and I recognized her from other things. It's just such an unserious movie. It's not even like cheesy for a Lifetime movie. It's just cheesy, period. And the way that these kids are acting, I would just never expect teenagers to act. Like, there's one character who is actively spreading syphilis, and he's proud of it. And he like is so cool in front of his friends, and like they do like a testing session at the school, and he's like, you better stick all of them because I probably did all of them. And just teenagers still to this day don't find STDs sexy or like cool to spread around, and it's just ridiculous. And then some of the parents are like, it's just what they do. It is not what they do. And then there's parents that are, like concerned, as they should be. But there's one scene where the mom, who is Marcia Harden, like she has to go find her daughter and like stop her from making bad decisions at this party, and she's like chatting on the computer. There's so many like chats on this computer, AIM, that are ridiculously funny. Like, please go watch this movie on YouTube. And the mom like gets the address of the party, and she like goes into the party, and the Lifetime producers and the director make sure to like make this party like the craziest party you've ever seen. That it's like not realistic for a high school party at all. And the mom's like horrified. She's like, where is my daughter? There's just too many good scenes in this movie. So like, while I think that the messaging is good, it just, the teenagers, some of them in the movie are ridiculous. And the scene where the mom like barges into the party and is like demanding to see her daughter. No kid at a party is going to tell you where your daughter is. It's just not going to happen. There's also like a really weird scene where the girls are like cheerleading for one of the girls' like baby brother, and it's just weird. This movie is insane, and it's weird, and it's just too much. But if you're looking for something kind of funny and ridiculous, I would go watch it. And yeah, I have a memory. Actually, I have a memory. I went camping, and I watched this with the people I was camping with because I had it downloaded on my laptop. And of course, they're kind of like, what's this movie about? A syphilis outbreak at a high school? That's kind of weird. But we really enjoyed watching it in our little cabin or whatever where we were camping. And I still, to this day, have it saved on my computer just in case I don't have Wi-Fi and I'm bored. This is the only movie on this list that I can say that about. Like, I don't have any other movie downloaded on my computer but this one. So that's all I have to say about She's Too Young. We have 2 movies left, and I am getting a little tired, but I'm really happy with how this video is turning out. So I promise to pull through for you guys and for myself. The next movie is Gummo. This movie is from 1997 by Harmony Korine. Harmony. Harmony himself is in this movie. Yeah. Luckily, the DVD is in the case. I guess I could like tap on it while I talk about it. I just know that the light is reflecting off of the case. So this is an example of a movie that you can't find on streaming. I bought it to watch it. I'm so happy I own the movie. I don't know where I got it. I forget where I ordered it. And when I put it into my PlayStation to play it, it said I needed a parent to approve. That's crazy. And then I had to watch it on my Xbox because I couldn't figure out how to get around the PlayStation parent controls. Anyway, Gummo from 1997 by devastation and the poverty that the tornado has created for them. And spoiler alert warning, there's not really like a plot to this movie. It is just freely shot. A lot of the people in the movie are not actors, and it is just like shot in a poverty-stricken town and just showing like everyday life with these people and how they overcome poverty and being poor. The kid on the cover is doing okay. You can find interviews on YouTube with him and other people in this movie. Chloe Sevigny. Oh, I'm gonna butcher her name, guys. I'm so sorry. Chloe Sevigny. She was in American Psycho, okay? But this was like her first movie ever because she was dating Harmony Korine at the time. Korine. She was dating Harmony at the time. She's great in this movie. I think she's so pretty in this movie. She just is like bleach blonde hair, bleach blonde eyebrows, and her acting is incredible for her first movie. So I told you the plot. I'm going to stick to my outline. What does this movie mean to me? A lot of the movies on this list make me feel great, and this made me feel really sad, but grateful for my life that I was not experiencing the things that people in this movie were experiencing. Gummo makes me think about my students and like students living in poverty and what they have to deal with. Parent relations with people in the community, having to do things that you don't want to do to survive. It's really gritty. Like, this movie makes you feel dirty, like you have to take a shower after you watch it. But I think what Harmony does in this movie is incredible. He just took everything he filmed, and while there's no plot, he really made more of a vignette or a portrait of these people, because while it's based in Ohio, I think he actually shot it in Nashville. There was not a lot of money behind it. They shot everything on film, and there was a lot of issues with the crew not wanting to film in people's houses because they were dirty, and the cast protested against that. There's a lot of like reality in this movie. I don't know, this movie just follows like young boys trying to make it. It shows a young boy, interacting with his mother that may or may not be mentally ill. It shows like random partying in the town that just does not make any sense whatsoever, which is kind of what small town partying is. There's queer issues that are addressed that would probably make a lot of people uncomfortable. It's just out there in the movie, and there's not really a lot of resolution. There's people that they talk about that get out of the town that make it out, and that's like a whole thing. And yeah, I don't know, visually, there's like a scene where cockroaches are running on the walls because they get released from like a picture. And there's three sisters. Actually, Chloe's character is a sister, and they're just trying to find their cat. And they're kind of like the heart of the film. There's like sisterly love in the midst of all this chaos and destruction and poverty. But I've only watched this once or twice. There's a scene, I'm just remembering, there's a scene where the main character is getting a bath and he's eating like spaghetti in a tub. There's probably references that you've seen before that you might not have known that are from this movie, but this movie really makes you feel grateful to be alive. And I think everybody has to watch it once. It makes you feel something. I love that there's no defined start, middle, or end. Because life does not have a start, middle, or end for everybody. And this movie to me is life. This is the reality of some people, and things are not always wrapped up in a pretty bow. Sometimes, there is no happy ending. Your life is what it is, whether it's your circumstance or not. And if anything, like Chloe got a career out of it, Harmony got a career out of it. I don't know. It's just a really disturbing movie that made me feel something and made me feel grateful to be alive. And I'm really happy that I own it on DVD. Would not put it on for people to watch at a party. It would bring down the vibe. But again, I'm a huge fan of Harmony Korine. I'm so sorry. I'm a huge fan of Harmony's work, and I think that there's a lot of duality between Gummo and Spring Breakers, and I could go on and on and on, but that's not the point of the video. So I think that I should move on to the last movie or two, and let's do that. So I was mistaken. There is only one movie left on this list. That movie is Barbarian. The movie Barbarian is from 2022, and it is by Zach Cregger. This is probably the most recent movie I have on the list. So, it's good because it beat out some other spots on this list. Barbarian is about a woman that is staying in an Airbnb that was accidentally booked by somebody else. This movie stars Georgina Campbell, Bill Skarsgård, and Justin Long. I really like that Justin Long is in this. But yeah, basically, the two people, Bill Skarsgård and where'd you go? Georgia Campbell. They stay in this Airbnb together, but they discover that there's a lot underneath the surface of this Airbnb. And things are sketch, right? The reason why I love this movie is because I could watch it a million times. You can watch it once and then watch it again and get a completely different perspective on what is happening. A really fun memory is I saw this in theaters like 3 or 4 times because I loved it that much, and each time the movie felt shorter and shorter. The second time, I think I saw this with my mom for whatever reason, and there was a scene where she screamed and jumped, and her popcorn went, the popcorn went up in the air, and we were both laughing at how silly the whole thing was, and people in the theater thought it was funny that my mom threw this popcorn in the air. So that's a good memory. But this movie, again, true crime. There's some true crime in there. Crazy prosthetics. I love the intertwining storylines, and it's scary. It is scary. I had a student that really wanted to see this movie, and their mom wouldn't let them, and then somehow the student saw the movie, and then the student and I would quote lines from this movie, and it made my day to quote this movie with a student and laugh about it. He thought it was so funny to quote this movie, and I thought it was funny too. And at the time he was 17 or 18, so I felt it was appropriate. He saw this R-rated movie, we can quote it and laugh about it. But really, Zach Cregger, did he do Weapons? this list because I just couldn't leave it off. Like, there were movies that I left off because I wanted a perfect 10, but then Barbarian just had to stay. Like, it had to stay because it's too good. Barbarian was too good. And with that, I think we should wrap up the video. Do you know what time it is? I will tell you what time it is. It is time for me to head out. Thank you so much for joining me in tonight's video. I had such an amazing time. This blew by, even though I think I've been talking for like an hour, if not longer. I just really wanted to talk about my favorite movies. I'm very inspired by other people that I watch. I feel like if you're invested in a person or a channel, you're invested in what they like, and I've just been thinking about movies lately.